I'm with Colin, and he's going to tell us a little bit about gecko breeding.
So, one of the questions we get here at the exhibit is actually regarding breeding, whether or not these guys do it on exhibit, whether we intentionally breed our geckos, and we really don't on exhibit, but it does happen, just kind of incidentally. And so these are some of our most prolific breeders. These are the gliding or flying geckos from Southeast Asia, and they get their name from their ability to glide to get away from predators. They've got webbed feet, nice skin stretched out between their toes that they can spread out like a parachute. They have frills running all the way down their sides, and even frills hanging off their tail to help slow their descent. All of that is used as a defense mechanism to try and avoid predation. But like I said, these guys are some of our more prolific breeders. So we actually have some eggs up in this exhibit. Way up top here, we have two little ping pong balls, and those are gliding gecko eggs. We also have two more pairs of eggs right up in the near corner.
Wow.
And now this is demonstrating one really cool adaptation that geckos have. Since most geckos are arboreal, they live up in the treetops, they really don't want their eggs to fall out of the trees, and so a lot of geckos will actually glue their eggs to a surface, whether it's a tree or the inside of a plant or even on a rock face for some desert-dwelling species. And the way they do that is actually quite incredible. When these guys lay their eggs, they don't have that hard egg shell yet. It basically comes out as kind of a liquid covering of calcium carbonate. It's the same stuff that makes up clamshells and oyster shells and arthropods, things like that. So as they lay those eggs, they'll hold them in place, and as that calcium carbonate dries, it'll actually form a very, very powerful adhesive, and it'll stick to the surface with so much force that it's actually very difficult to get it off of the surface. Up here in this corner, we can see two little white spots. That is where two eggs were previously laid, and you know, I've gone at that every day trying to get those spots off. They don't come off. That is quite literally fused with the surface onto which it was laid. It's a very, very powerful adhesive.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Well, thank you very much for telling us about the gecko's mating. So how long does it take for the eggs to hatch, and what do you do after the new gecko is born?
Well, that depends on the species. Generally, you're looking at between 60 and 90 days, about 2 to 3 months for a gecko to hatch. Some of them are a little bit longer than that. The tokay geckos, for instance, can go anywhere from 9 months to a year before they hatch. Some of them are a little bit more quick. Some of the day geckos can hatch actually within less than 45 days. So it really does depend on the species. However, if they do hatch out here on exhibit, we have plenty of cages back behind the scenes to keep them in. A little bit smaller, a little bit more escape-proof, since baby geckos are very, very tiny, to help us keep them nice and secure.